Okay, so let's take a look at our agenda. What specifically are we going to be looking at? So first, we'll start with some back to basics. Okay, we might as well set the scene. So we'll look at what is bankruptcy, what is a statutory demand or a stat demand, as I'll be saying today, and when can these processes be used. Specifically then, obviously in relation to each of those sections, we'll then hone in on the issue of service. Okay, there are very, very strict requirements set out in various rules and pieces of legislation and even case law that need to be understood and followed. So we will consider all of those in some detail. We'll also look at what happens if we cannot comply with those requirements. So if you cannot, for example, effect personal service, or maybe your debtor is being purposefully avoiding you, something like that. It happens a lot, as I'm sure you'll know, when we get into these specifics of debt recovery, some difficulties. So we'll look at different options available to us there. And finally then, throughout today's session, we'll discuss key skills and helpful tips. So again, looking at the case law, the legislation, finding our way around the CPR, all with a focus on implementing correct service when completing the bankruptcy process. A quick point then on debts in a foreign currency. This is becoming much more relevant, and I'm seeing it a lot more because, especially in light of Brexit and things like that. Also, I'm working in the world of travel, so I'm obviously dealing with lots of suppliers and things abroad. So sometimes we have debts in foreign currencies. It is possible to serve a stat demand in respect of a foreign currency debt. And in these examples or these circumstances, it would be prudent for the stat demand to simply state the sterling equivalent of the debt as well as the foreign currency value. Now, there's no express requirement to do this, okay? But Rule 14.21 concerns proof of debts incurred or payable in a foreign currency. So if you are dealing with things like that, check out Rule 14.21. What if there is a genuine dispute or counterclaim? Now, as we all know, a bankruptcy petition should not be presented if the debt is genuinely disputed or the debtor has a counterclaim against the creditor that reduces the debt to below the stat threshold. Therefore, a debtor on whom a stat demand has been served should investigate the debt and, as soon as possible, provide to the creditor details of the ground on which they dispute the debt or asserts there's a right of cross-claim or set-off.